All right, thank you one more time. The program's still much alive here on independent television. I did tell you that the role of civil rights activism and social participation is going to be our next part of discussion as we get along on the program this morning on ITV. We are so privileged to have leftist Omobude Ago, who is the Coordinator General of Edo Civil Society Organization. All right, I beg your pardon for that. And also we have Mavis Iyamu, who is a member of African Youth Parliament and also the former legal advisor to NADS. Gentlemen, you're welcome to the program this morning on ITV. You're welcome. Now, we're talking about civil, activism, civil rights and all that. Perhaps let's trace it from independence. In 59 years, what do you think has been the role, so far, so to say, in ensuring that Nigerians are really socialized in terms of social activism? Let me start from Omobdeo.
Okay, in 59 years,
yeah.
If not for the role of the civil society, I think we won't be here, we won't be where we are now, even though we are still crawling. So we are not seated, we are crawling. This progress at all. We've had great leaders who are coming over the years and contributing and demanding and for social justice, for social all-inclusiveness of citizens and participation in the system. And it's been coming, even though we had a long time of military rule. After the independent, military took over, had a long time of military rule that translated all of that progress we have made, which is not actually even different now, because some person would have said we are still military rule. Yes, I totally agree. We are still actually military rule.
No, you can't say so.
The military
I'm not going to allow you to say so. We are not in military rule. This is democratically elected government. A civilian rule.
We are in democracy on paper. We have military men who are wearing agbada, and all the justice just change tunga.
No, but that's not true.
Full military uniform and wear agbada.
That's not true.
We still have a retired army general as president. In 1999, we had a retired army general who was the first president. The only time we had civilian rule in between this time of democracy was when Yar'Adua came in, and Jonathan was also there. Apart from that, we are still in.
Okay. Now, Mavis Iyamu, do you think that social activism, has so far in these 59 years, has really gotten us as a nation to where we ought to be?
Thank you very much, Mr. Evans. Our Razo compatriots,
Nigeria call obey.
Since independence, since 1st of October 1960, has been our daily declaration. A clarion call to nation building. But I can tell you, critically, without messing with that, we have been through difficult times. We have been through thick at time moments, hope and despair. With a bitter expression that, the youth have been in the receiving end of that ugly pyramid. So, to a very reasonable extent, I must tell you that since October 1st, 1960, the one that is within my knowledge, my brief history of abiding by the master of Baghdad's government, I can say to a very convincing level that the role of civil rights activists has been very enormous. But that's played this role of eye-opener. It has exposed our consciousness to national issues.
Okay, we'll take a short pause now because of the news update at 9:30, and we're going to be right back on the other side of the time. Please stay tuned.
TMI, every opinion counts.
All right, the program is still this morning on ITV, on independent television, and we still have Comrade Omobude, leftist Omobude here from Edo Civil Society Organizations, and also Comrade Mavis Iyamu still on the program this morning on ITV. Gentlemen, you're welcome one more time. Now, Comrade Iyamu, you were trying to talk about social activism right from independence.
Yeah, how it has been. It has helped to after chipping the narratives of Nigeria issues.
Yeah,
it acted as a voice for the voiceless. voice that once engaged the government on issues that borders on the objectivities of the people. So in those days, they were very, very fruitful and eventful. They were useful. They did a lot of programs, initiated, they exposed some person's consciousness to the affairs of society. In those days, some persons were confined to the imprisonment, start going to the lay down was the process to actually take the position of the law.
Yeah.
So it has happened in the past. So for some of us who are still very, very conscious with what happened in those days, we'll be able to reconcile it to the government we have today. What is happening under this regime?
Okay.
How effective the civil rights activists, how effective have they been in checkmating the affairs of the leadership of this country?
Okay.
So that will tell you that in those days, if you're able to reconcile that time with this government, so you will be able to draw a correlation.
Okay. Now, I left you some up there. One thing that seems to, be bothering people is the way social rights activists become politicians. So there's that tendency to really want to doubt their intention. Take, for example, Moyele Sowore, who before now was known as a social rights activist. Within the twilight of the 2019 presidential election, he became a presidential aspirant, and he lost in that election. And of course, he had to go to that protest that was botched, the #RevolutionNow protest. Now, how can we begin to really have confidence in this whole thing?
All right. First is to say quickly to respond to that. Social activists are citizens of the country.
Yeah.
Section 14 of the 1999 Constitution, subsection 1 and subsection 2, particulars in D part of it, C part of it. It says we have a right to participate in government. To participate in government is not just to be critics, it's to really be involved, to bring about those changes we want to see. Some persons think that, some persons as social activists believe that they can get into the system and bring about a change there. For some of us, we don't believe likewise. We just think that we should be here and moderate what happens there. And so for Sowore getting involved, it's a right. It's fundamental citizen and human right too.
Yeah, but don't you think there's a challenge in trying to differentiate between politics and social activism?
They are different. That's why I said it is. You have to divorce one and marry the other. You understand? But again, you can, activism is in the blood. So once you are an activist and you get into politics, it will still be seen that this person is an activist, because the way you articulate, the way you will think, the way you want to implement, the way you want to react will be different from the normal politician's way of doing things. I'll give you an example. Dino Milai. Till now, you people cannot differentiate between Dino Milai an activist or Dino Milai a politician. Do you understand? So it is that if you play it wrongly, that now bastardizes what you do. But back to what I was trying to say. Sowore has got a right to get involved in politics because he wants to bring about change. That is very true. But how he goes about it becomes another issue for questioning.
Okay.
So if he mingles with the wrong class of people, of course, that will bastardize his identity. That's to the extent you see some persons are saying, this guy, the way he went about it, and he messed it all up.
They see him more as a politician.
Yes, more of a politician
than
and a merchant activist.
Yeah.
Because we have some activists who are actually merchants. If they are not sincere and genuine about what they do, it's hard to make a living from it. For them, it's a means to make
yeah, Comrade Mavis, you want to say something?
Yes, with respect to the issue is just talked about Moyele Sowore.
Yeah.
He's a comrade in the struggle. Of course, we must always acknowledge that fact.
He's a fellow comrade.
Of course, he has paid his dues.
Yeah.
He has been the product of so many struggles. But of course, being a comrade, it's expected that before embarking on any struggle, there are conditions, there are seas you ought to actually exhaust first. You see, first Madam once said that each generation must discover its mission.
Yeah.
Either you fulfill it or betray it in relative world obscurity. So, if at his level, at his age, he is sitting down once home, he's sitting home in his comfort abode, looking at things happening to the detriment of the commoners. Of course, he would have been exposed to some level of, what's it called? Natural justice. But having been a comrade in struggle, he has been involved in so many struggles. It was expected of him to have first of all embarked on the consultation movement. He consults with relevant stakeholders, civil society groups, student body, all of that relevant movement. Goes from state to state for organize town hall meetings, to interactive section with people, to know the mind of people, what is actually going through their mind, how to actually champion such a cause. And that he didn't do. That aside, then I'm not trying to dispute the fact that the law, especially the First Amendment to the Constitution, protect 5 basic freedom, which is freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press,
civic rights,
freedom of assembly, freedom to petition the government. So we have been empowered. Okay. We have been given that right. Now he didn't do that. This is so worrying. I'm not against the fact that an activist should not be involved in politics. They're supposed to work together, to produce the needed results in the interest of the people. Now, he just contested under a political platform, the party he established. He was the chairman of the party, at the same time a presidential candidate of that party. Immediately after the general election, even where we felt so bad and we're sad that the outcome of the result he got was actually not encouraging. But we'll try to let that go.
All right, gentlemen.
Now, sorry, let me just please say this. Now, immediately after the election, he was alleged to have embezzled and misappropriated funds. It was expected of a leader.
Anyway, we
aside.
We are really not discussing Sowore.
Yeah, but as it relates to civil rights activism, he's like an activist.
Gentlemen, I must apologize because of time. It's really fast spent here today, Comrade Mobile, and perhaps when we come, I'm going to ask you about what happened, on the first at King Square, protesting the non-independence of power in Nigeria. We're not talking about that now. Maybe we'll have time. And also, Mavis Iyamo, thank you. Well, that's the program today, this morning on ITV.